Mattison.
Hello, everybody. 39 years ago, 1986, I was a junior at Dartmouth, and I was the on-campus rep for IBM, old school. You know, these were the 30-pound PCs. This is with a 5.5 floppy disk. You guys remember. Some of you do. And I was the on-campus rep for spring, and I had a mentor, IBMer, who was from Woodstock. And he's like, look, Mattison, there's an opportunity to get an internship with IBM in Burlington for the summer. I think you should go for it. So I hopped the bus. I didn't have a car. And I took the bus ride from Hanover, New Hampshire to Burlington, Vermont, and it dropped me at the corner of St. Paul and Main Street. That's where the bus station used to be, right? Pre-cell phone, pre-Uber, pre-Google Maps. And I was an economics, math, and psychology major, so I had a big backpack on my back. I stepped off on St. Paul Street, and this woman came up to me, and she's like, hey. I'm like, hi. You know, it was my first time in Burlington. I didn't know anyone. And she's like, so what are you doing? I'm like, I have an interview. She's like, great. Who do you have an interview with? It's like, IBM. She's like, oh, okay. Which one? Are you going to the plant, or are you going to the sales office? And I said, the sales office. She's like, all right, Kennedy Drive. When's your appointment? When's your interview? I was like, 3 hours. She's like, all right, you need a library. I was like, yeah, I do. And this woman, for the next half hour, showed me around Burlington. She took me to Old Gold, which used to be on Main Street. Hey! You know, she pointed out the bagel bakery that was on St. Paul Street. She took me to Red Onion, you know, where I could get a bite. She was like, here's a couple of places you don't need to go. I won't mention them, but you might. And, you know, as we're walking around town, she's like, here's where you can catch a cab, and you're going to go straight up the hill, and don't let them tell you otherwise. This is where you're going. And then she walked me to the Fletcher Free Library and dropped me off. And I'm a military kid. So I was born in Georgia. My dad's African American, my mother's German, and we bounced around like other military families did. So Georgia, then Germany, where we actually lived with my mother's parents, back to Georgia, and then to Alaska, where I grew up. And we were in a couple military bases in Alaska. My mom's a strong German woman who worked for the Army Air Force Exchange Service, and when my stepfather would get reassigned, she's like, well, we can't go. My daughter's in this grade, so why don't you send them and bring them back? And I don't know how that happened, but it happened. And I don't know how many of you are military kids, but the thing about being a military kid, there you are, is when you get dropped in a new place, you're always having to figure out what are the new rules here? What's the culture? How do I fit in? And so the work I do today is user experience work, because that's what I do. I take a step back from myself, I make room for other people, and understanding their needs, their pain points, their hopes, their dreams, their aspirations. And what that woman did for me 39 years ago is she gave me the first opportunity as someone who is biracial black, as someone who is a queer woman, as someone who was born in 1965 into an America in the state of Georgia where my parents' marriage was illegal, where I always had to figure out what the rules were. She gave me an opportunity only in Burlington where I didn't have to think. I could just be. Yeah, please, for that. And as a military kid who bounced around, as that kid who never really understood what her place or space would be, only in Burlington have I found the peace and the openness and the kindness to just be me. So to all of you out there who are my neighbors and fellow Vermonters, I thank you.